Hello, and salvate discipuli and salvate omnes. Welcome again. I got Chuck here. The other room didn't. Just got done with our medical anthropology class. Rocking, awesome discussion. Just great, great kids. And I wanted to go ahead and etymologize something. We talked about the history of the hospital. I'm not really going to etymologize hospital because that's pretty simple. But what I will do is talk about the relationship between the doctor and the patient, something that we we've fallen away from. You know, we were all talking and discussing and thinking about how it's traversed from this. Medicine used to be this slow thing. It used to be deliberate, and I'm going to think about it spiritually. For instance, I think about a beautiful story. I was raised Roman Catholic. I don't say that I pertain to any religion at this point in my life, but I can thank all of the Catholicism in my life for imbuing a lot of core values that I still hold on to. And things that I don't believe in, I've trimmed away and I don't need. But what I do remember, because I've read the Bible like through and through, is a story about Jesus and one of his healing. And one of the healing aspects of this story, well, I'll get closer here because it's story time a little bit before I etymologize. But Jesus here, he's addressing the blind man. This blind man here, he's going to fix his blindness. But the beautiful thing about this is that it almost makes Jesus more human in this way. He had already taken in all these lepers, all of these people, all the marginalized people of medicine, really. And he looks at this blind man and he does his deal. Picks up some dirt, toot, skibbity beebity bop, places it on the blind man's eyes. The blind man there leaves it for a second, and then Jesus has him rub it off and says, "And now see," or something like that. The blind man looks around and he says, "Everybody looks like trees." And Jesus is like, "Well, I guess we got to do round two." So again, toot. And there it was. What I think is very interesting about that is that it took twice for Jesus to actually cure blindness. It wasn't just like a flip of a switch. It's not like when you think about actual miracles. Oh, like walking on water. I'm sure it probably took Jesus a couple times to walk on water. Maybe few. We just didn't get that story. But it just goes to show how we've slowed down. And now when we've come back to modern medicine, I'm talking to PCPs that wish they had more time with their patients, but they're being ridden on their asses by the administration. And then you get people that are so disenfranchised with medicine. And then you have people like Luigi Mangione. So I think that the doctors have gotten away a lot. Not all, some. But doctor comes from docere in the Latin. Docere in the Latin means to teach. Because essentially, a doctor not only was administering health or anything really, they were teaching that patient what they were exhibiting, what they were dealing with. Maybe they have this highfalutin, fancy dancy terminology, but they have means to distill it down into palatable format for that patient. That patient, which comes from the Latin patiens, which refers to suffering. In the Greek, it's where you get the pathos. And so a patient inherently is suffering and etymologically means suffering, just wants to be taught, just wants to be quelled their anxieties. Because sometimes when we just know, it provides a lot of relief, doesn't it? So if you didn't know, now you know. Tempus est, scalere.